There's this survey that comes out twice a year from investment bank Piper Sandler that asks the youths a variety of questions about their spending habits and the brands they love. We love this survey. We've been monitoring it for years because it's great for content, Neal. So let's see what the youths are into.
I thought you were going to say it's good for businesses to keep an eye on their consumer.
Nope, great for content, Neal. One thing is for sure, the youths love Nike, Apple, and Chick-fil-A. Nike was the favorite clothing and footwear brand among both males and females in all income brackets, as it was last year and the year before. Chick-fil-A is their favorite restaurant, garnering 16% of the votes, but it's Apple that has an absolute chokehold on the teens. Of the 9,193 teens surveyed, 87% of them had iPhones, and 88% said their next phone would also be an iPhone. We'll get into more Apple details later, but one final thing I want to call out is their energy drinking habits. Monster, Red Bull, and Celsius were the teens' favorite energy drink brands, but Celsius at 16% of the votes came in well above its 10% overall market share. So I know we at Morning Brew Daily love to see that. Neal, what were some of the responses that stood out to you?
First of all, this survey made me think, hey, Gen Z is pretty basic. Like Nike, Apple, I mean, they don't have any sort of countercultural taste. It's all just the big brands that have been popular for 10 to 20 years have continued their dominance, which I guess speaks to their ability to pivot with the times, and especially Nike. I mean, Nike's been ahead of trends for so many years. They constantly pivot and do cool new things like digital collectibles now, and have just constantly, linking up with new athletes that are becoming popular. So, I think Nike's done an incredible job, and obviously Apple too. What stood out to me was that teens in the U.S. say they for the first time, they watch more YouTube than Netflix. So YouTube has passed Netflix as the top video platform, and I think that's a really important data point to talk about for people watching this on YouTube. They're like, yeah, obviously. But the content on YouTube is really good, and I think teens are building a bigger attachment to that than they are with traditional streaming platforms. It's so much cheaper for a company to get user-generated content up, and Netflix here is spending tens of billions of dollars. They're in all these labor negotiations and paying so much for content and for maybe not so much for labor, but maybe after these strikes they will. So, I mean, if I'm YouTube, I'm like, this is great news. And if I'm Netflix or any other streaming company, I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and then getting out of technology for a second, talking about some of the stuff we discussed on our Bullish or Bearish show, actually, they asked teens about how they thought about plant-based meats, and the amount of teens that consume or are willing to try plant-based meat hit an all-time low of 35%. That's down from 49% back in spring 2021. So we are seeing kind of this turn against plant-based meats that we're seeing play out in the markets. We're seeing it at the teen level as well. So that's something that we've discussed on the show before. And then the other thing that stood out to me was weekly usage of VR devices declined to 10% from around 14% earlier this year. So, but 31% of teens now own a VR device, so that's something Zuck and Meta are probably keeping an eye on because, again, they've bet their whole future of their company on basically the youth embracing this new format, and it doesn't quite look like it's paying off as of right now. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you want more Morning Brew Daily, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and also check out the rest of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
New episodes drop at 7 a.m. Eastern Monday through Friday, and you can email us at morningbrewdaily@morningbrew.com.